Hey everyone, this is Mike with Play More Games, and today we're going to do an unbagging or a look at Prelude to Vicksburg, Chickasaw Bayou, the American Civil War Volume 9 from Revolution Games. This is part of the Blind Swords family of games. So this is brand new alongside Volume 10, which I just received today. So this is the bagged version. If you would prefer, you can buy a box. On the back here is our turn track, which has scenario information. And this game has a lot of scenarios. It has 6 scenarios. You can see that there are 4 different days that are covered in this battle. And there's 2 scenarios on the first day, 1 on the second day, 2 on the third day, and then 1 on the final day. Each of these are individual scenarios. There's no linking scenario or anything like that, which is fine. You have your track here down at the bottom for units that are eliminated. So, assuming that you are unfamiliar with the Blind Swords series, this covers combat in the Civil War and adjacent time frames, and it has a series rules and game exclusive rules format, which I think is really nice. This game in particular is designed by Stephen Oliver, developed by Melvin Deal. So let's take a look at the map, because it is pretty beautiful, and fitting the name Chickasaw Bayou, if you're not already familiar with the territory, there is a ton of water obstacles on this map. The map itself is very lovely. Down here at the bottom we have Confederate entrenchments, and that is where the big defensive positions were. You have the Chickasaw Bluffs behind them. But you have a lot of flat, swampy terrain. You have all this woods terrain, so it'll be interesting to see how the terrain plays into this battle here. So you have every game in this series has different levels of terrain, and I don't just mean like elevation. You have battles that are more open than others. You have battles that are a little more chaotic, like this one. So let's take a look at some of the material that you'll get in this game. So first we have our player aid cards. Right. So if you've played Blind Swords before, you know how to use this. If you haven't, it's really easy. You figure out your firepower, which is at the top here, and you look at your enemy's cohesion rating. You roll 2 dice, look at any applicable modifiers, including weapon ranges, shifts, and all of that, and you roll 2 dice. Based on that result, you index your firepower after applying any potential shifts with the enemy cohesion rating, and you'll get a result, either no result, green, yellow, or red. And then on the back you just flip it over. Over here you have your fire combat, over here you have close combat. Here you have a terrain index. Okay, so you have 2 of those. Since I mostly play solitaire, I like to lay them out like this, so you're not flipping back and forth for 3 hours. Then we have player aid cards. So you have on this side the sequence of play, terrain effects chart, brigade order details, and if you haven't played this game before, it is a chit pull system. And I'll talk more about that in a second here. Each side has unique event chits. They have some in common. And this is one of the ways that the designers in this series can kind of bring out some of the differences in the 2 factions, right? So most of the armies, they fight the same, but really where they're pulling the chrome out is in differences in unit qualities on the counters, these event shits, which can make a big difference, and then the counters themselves, which we'll take a look at now. So this game has 2 counter sheets, but don't worry, the second one is just status markers. So there's some fallen timber here, which the Confederates can use to make hinder Union advancement. Then you have fire to move markers. These are marked as artillery. They're double-sided for Confederates on the back. I would imagine that you can use these as fired/move markers in other titles. I don't think that you're going to need all of these at one time. I'm not sure. I think they just kind of took it as an opportunity to print out a whole bunch. But I don't know. Maybe we will end up using them in this game. Alright, so you have Pioneer units, which are used to clear those obstacles I mentioned earlier. You have those event shits that I was talking about, and then you have the units. Okay, so let's look at the Confederates. So you can see that these are artillery units, and then we have some infantry units. Right? So we have our firepower here, which is 5. We have our weapon type, which is R. This is rifled. There are some sharp units here. You also have, for artillery, you have some mixed units that are a mix of rifled and smoothbore. And then, of course, you have your commander chits, right? And then on the right, you have morale. Now, if you look, each of these units at the top have a certain color, which means that they activate together. If we look at the activation displays, which these are a nice touch, they weren't in all of the titles. Basically, when you pull one of these chits, let's see AJ Smith here, when you pull AJ Smith, you can activate either the Burbridge Brigade or the Landrum Brigade. So if you pull him out of the cup, you'll roll against this number and then choose one of these formations to activate. And then you put it back into the cup, and the next time you pull him, you will activate the other one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions, an independent unit looks like, and then the commander-in-chief, which basically functions as a wild, and then much smaller for the Confederates here. And you'll pull them one at a time, roll, and activate. So you can see one of the ways that they express the difference here. These units both have 4s. All of these are 3s, including Sherman, which is one of the ways I think that they show the differences between these formations here. 4 is much better. 4 is pretty good. Alright, so that's a quick look at Prelude to Vicksburg, Battle of Chickasaw Bayou. Right now I am playing a Greater Victory, so I won't be setting this one up or Sedgwick Attacks just yet, because I am having some fun with Greater Victory. But I do recommend this series of games to anyone that's interested in the era, because they are a lot of fun. So, this is Mike with Play More Games. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.